Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm Paul Clark and today we're going to be painting this scene step by step in watercolour. So come and join me. Okay, before we start, I just wanted to say that this isn't really Venice, it's just something I made up. So I don't want you to be worried about how accurately you paint this today. We're not going to do any drawing, we're just going to go for it. Be bold, brave and beautiful. Let's get started. Okay, materials for today. I've got a nice sheet of Bockingford Rough, which I've pre-stretched and is ready to go. Brush wise, I'm just going to be using two, my 3/4 flat and my number 12 round. For colours today, I'm using some Cotman made by Winsor & Newton, which is a student grade watercolour, but absolutely fabulous for practicing and for demonstrations like this. So just three colours, as we're going to do a lot of mixing today. So cobalt blue, cad yellow, alizarin crimson. If you haven't got those three colours, you can use any blue, yellow or red, but you'll appreciate that your colour mixing won't match exactly what I'm doing today. Our first mix is going to be a warm yellow, mixed from approximately 90% yellow and say 10% red. I'm going to refer to my colours simply as red, yellow and blue from now on for ease. I'm going to now completely wet my paper. Now, when I said I was only using two brushes, I was actually lying, as I'm using this large mop to cover the paper quickly. Taking my flat brush, I'm painting in a graduated wash with plenty of warm yellow at the top, lightening the colour as we move down to the centre. Now from the bottom, I'm doing the same, but starting darker from the bottom, with lots of quick horizontal washes. Straight away, using a rolled up piece of tissue, I lift out a blob for the sun. Now, because we wet our paper first, you can see that we have some good graduated washes without any ugly brush strokes. We're now going to look at getting that line of light along the top edge of the water. So what I've done is drawn a horizontal line. In fact, this is the only bit of drawing we're going to do in the whole picture. I'm now going to use some wax as a resist. All this is, in fact, is just half a bit of tea light. Then I'm going to lightly draw along my pencil line. And then perhaps a few sparkles here and there in the water. But what's important is that you press very lightly, as we only want to cover the top of our textured paper. Right, so next we're going to paint our sky with some lovely dramatic moody clouds. So I want to mix a nice deep purpley colour using, I don't know, about a 40% red and say 60% blue. And hopefully you'll see later why it's important that we make up our own purple. Right, now making sure our first yellow wash is bone dry, we're now going to re-wet the top half of this paper, just gently dragging our brush. We don't want to pull up the yellow, but just drag it down to the pencil line. Straight away, I paint in some cloud shapes across the paper. I'm now taking some colour out of my brush with a tissue and painting in some lighter wispy clouds. Now, I pick up my board and tilt it at an angle so the wash moves diagonally across the paper. What I hope you can notice is how the purple separates, giving this lovely glowing effect. The blue pigment is heavier, so sort of tends to sink to the bottom of the paper, giving this wonderful natural granulation. For this next stage, I'm using clean water again and just re-wetting the bottom half up to the pencil line. Paint this with a very light touch because we don't want to pull up any of the yellow base. And make sure you don't leave any dry patches. With the purple mix, I'm going to paint in a graduated wash coming up from the bottom with quick flowing brush strokes. And what you can see here are some of the areas where the wax resist is just coming through. Okay, so our next stage is to paint the buildings along the background, and the colour I'm going to use for this is the same purple that we've used for the sky, but I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow into that purple wash, and what that will do, that will just grey the colour up a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to show you a technique that I'm going to use for this. If you notice, I've sharpened the opposite end of my paintbrush just with a pencil sharpener and created this nice point, and that's what we're going to use in this next stage. And don't forget to change your water regularly. Dirty water gives dirty washes. Right, so here we go. You have to be brave with this and just get some quick shapes painted in. Keep the base flat along the pencil line, then just begin to form some dome shapes, adding in a bit of structure here and there. Now what I'm trying to do is get my wash much lighter under the space where the sun is, to suggest it's sort of being bleached out by the light. But keep those washes nice and wet. With the end of my brush, I'm now pulling out little bits of detail here and there. More dark tones to give the building more shape and structure, but keep everything flowing and wet. A little more detail again with the end of my brush. Now here's a great trick. Just soften some of the edges by dropping in some clean water, especially in this area just below the sun. Still time to add in a little bit more dark, a little bit more definition here on the buildings. Before it has a chance to dry, I'm just going to dab out with a piece of tissue to just soften a few of these little edges here. Wow, look at that lovely granulation. Now that's exciting. Now for the bottom half where the water is, simply re-wet the whole area and just let it soak in for about 30 seconds. Now the fun starts. Tilt your board almost upright and drop in big dollops of purple and let it run down the paper, making sure it's sort of directly underneath the large masses of your buildings. Lay it flat again and paint in some real dark tones of the purple. You can do this several times and build up those washes. Again, you can see a lovely glow as the colours begin to separate. Here you can see the areas where we laid down that wax resist, creating that lovely sparkle. So I've still got a few uncomfortable hard edges on the horizon, so with just a little piece of damp tissue I'm going to softly rub at the edges. Okay, now for some movement in the water. I'm going to practice my strokes first. Good, quick left to right strokes, widening in the middle. Onto the paper we go, and you can dab out with a tissue any areas that you want to lighten. I've just noticed I've painted two areas in the water reflection that shouldn't really be there. So I'm going to paint in some shapes above to give purpose to the reflections. So I'm going to wet the paper again just in that area, and then I'm going to paint in some blobby shapes to suggest some sort of structure. To create some glistening in the water, I'm taking a damp tissue and dragging it horizontally across the paper, lifting off some of the paint. You can see some of the texture begin to come through. For this technique, I'm painting in just simply some clean water and brushing it back and forth several times, back and forth, and then lift out with some tissue, and what that creates is a lovely shimmering effect. Now I want to create that nice bright reflection directly below the sun, so I'm just going to use a cheap old scalpel and scratch away at the paint. You know, any decent quality watercolour paper will take quite a battering. Now with my number 3 rigger, another brush I forgot to mention, I'm just painting in a few details in the buildings. A little bit of smudging here and there with my finger, and then finally I can just add in a few dark ripples. And of course we have to add in loads of pigeons flying about all over the place, and all they are just simple little dots with some nice movement to them. With a white pastel pencil I'm just adding in a few little dots here and there to suggest perhaps some street lights. With a big blob of soft pastel I put that in, and then its reflection directly below, and then drag it down with my finger. And you can do exactly the same with some other colours. Red always looks good, bit of a contrast with the rest of it, and some little flecks of orange here and there. I think we're done. All we've got left to do is sign it. Well, there we have it. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, I've got a lot more coming soon. Unless you're watching this in the future and they're already there. So, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to know how you got on. If you enjoyed the video, please give it the thumbs up and please subscribe. It really does help to grow the channel. So, if you want to hear more from me, you can always purchase my book. My book, Watercolour by Paul Clark, available online or from most good bookshops. So it's goodbye from me. Hope to see you again soon. Bye now.